The political landscape in America today is a dynamic and ever-evolving realm that blends long-standing traditions with new challenges and issues. In the years since the turn of the 21st century, U.S. politics has grown increasingly polarized, with deep divisions between the two major political parties, Democrats and Republicans, along with growing influence from social movements, minority groups, and external factors like international relations, technology, and the environment. Here's an in-depth look at the key factors shaping the political landscape in America today. 1. Bipartisan divide. Democrats versus Republicans. The fundamental divide in American politics today is the deepening polarization between the Democratic and Republican parties. The gap between the two parties has grown wider in the past few decades, with few opportunities for cross-party collaboration on key issues. As of now, both parties are characterized by distinct ideologies, with Democrats being more progressive and liberal, and Republicans being more conservative and traditional. These ideological lines have sharpened since the Reagan-era, 1980s, leading to more extreme political platforms. Democrats*. The Democratic Party tends to favor progressive economic policies such as universal health care, increased taxes on the wealthy, and government intervention in certain aspects of the economy. They also push for strong environmental protections, civil rights for marginalized groups, and socially liberal policies on issues such as abortion and LGBTQ+ rights. The rise of progressive figures like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders has increased the prominence of democratic socialism within the party. President Joe Biden, while more moderate compared to these figures, is still seen as leading the party's more progressive faction. Republicans*. The Republican Party emphasizes free market capitalism, lower taxes, and a smaller role for the federal government in everyday life. Their policy agenda tends to focus on deregulation, national security, and traditional family values. The GOP's base is made up of voters from rural areas, evangelical Christians, and those who emphasize strong national defense and law enforcement. Since Donald Trump's presidency, the GOP has also seen a shift toward populism, with Trump's brand of politics having a lasting impact on the party's direction. 2. Presidential elections and election integrity. U.S. presidential elections have become a focal point of American political discourse. The 2020 presidential election between Joe Biden and incumbent Donald Trump was one of the most contested and controversial elections in recent history. Trump's refusal to accept the election results, which he claimed were rigged, led to the infamous January 6 Capitol riot, where a mob of his supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol in an attempt to stop the certification of Biden's victory. Since the 2020 election, there have been ongoing debates about election integrity, with Republicans pushing for stricter voter ID laws, limitations on mail-in ballots, and other voting reforms. Many Democrats see these measures as attempts to suppress minority voters and limit access to the ballot. Looking ahead to the 2024 election, there are growing concerns about voter turnout, electoral reforms, and potential challenges to the legitimacy of the election results, especially as Trump has continued to spread baseless claims about voter fraud. The involvement of social media in shaping public opinion and the role of foreign interference are also critical considerations as new technologies evolve. 3. Joe Biden's presidency and the shift to moderation. Joe Biden's election in 2020 was viewed by many as a repudiation of Trump's polarizing brand of politics. Biden ran on a platform of unity, healing, and restoring the soul of the nation. His presidency has focused on returning to more traditional political norms, which have been challenging in an era of intense polarization. Domestic policies. On the domestic front, Biden has implemented a large-scale COVID-19 relief bill, the American Rescue Plan, which provided direct payments to Americans, expanded unemployment benefits, and supported vaccine distribution. He has also focused on rebuilding the economy through infrastructure investment and job creation, with a focus on clean energy and high-tech industries. Healthcare. Biden has worked to expand the Affordable Care Act (ACA) and implement policies aimed at reducing prescription drug prices, while also advocating for a public option in healthcare. The fight for universal healthcare, however, continues to be a major issue within the Democratic Party, with progressive voices calling for Medicare for all. Climate change. Biden has re-entered the Paris Agreement and is pushing for legislation aimed at tackling climate change, including investments in renewable energy and electric vehicles. However, Biden's climate agenda has faced strong opposition from Republicans, and some Democrats have criticized him for not doing enough to combat climate change at the pace that science demands. Social issues. Biden's administration has also taken steps to promote racial justice and gender equality, including appointing diverse officials to positions of power and supporting policies that address systemic racism and inequality. However, there are ongoing debates about the best approaches to issues like police reform, criminal justice, and affirmative action. Foreign policy. In terms of foreign policy, Biden has worked to repair alliances that were strained under Trump, such as those with NATO and the European Union. He has also taken a tough stance on Russia, particularly in light of the invasion of Ukraine in 2022, and has sought to strengthen ties with China, India, and other emerging powers. Trump's continued influence and the rise of populism. Despite being out of office, Donald Trump continues to exert a powerful influence over the Republican Party. His rhetoric and style of politics, characterized by populist, nationalistic, and often divisive rhetoric, have reshaped the GOP and American political discourse in ways that may be felt for decades to come. Trump has positioned himself as the leader of the America First movement, which includes a strong anti-immigration stance, a push for trade protectionism, and a focus on reducing America's international entanglements. He remains highly popular among a significant portion of the electorate, with many Republicans viewing him as the only candidate who can return the country to what they see as its former greatness. The emergence of Trumpism has also raised questions about the future of the Republican Party, with some traditional conservatives expressing concern that the party has moved too far away from its principles of fiscal conservatism and limited government. However, Trump's hold on the party remains strong, and many Republican politicians who once opposed him, like Senators Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley, have become ardent supporters. 5. Social movements and activism. In the midst of these political developments, social movements continue to shape the American political landscape. The Black Lives Matter (BLM) movement, which gained momentum in the wake of George Floyd's death in 2020, remains a powerful force advocating for racial justice and police reform. BLM has prompted a national conversation about systemic racism, and while progress has been made in some areas, calls for major reforms in policing and criminal justice continue. The LGBTQ+ rights movement has also seen significant victories in recent years, including the landmark Supreme Court ruling that legalized same-sex marriage in 2015 and the growing acceptance of transgender rights. However, these movements face continued resistance, particularly from conservative and religious groups, who argue that such policies conflict with traditional values. Climate change activism, particularly among young people, has become an increasingly important force in American politics. Movements like Fridays for Future and the Sunrise Movement have been calling for urgent action on climate issues, pushing for Green New Deals, carbon emissions reduction, and stronger environmental protections. 6. The future of American politics. The political landscape in America is shifting in response to demographic changes, technological advancements, and emerging global challenges. The United States is becoming more racially and ethnically diverse, and this is reflected in the growing political influence of Hispanic, Black, and Asian American communities. These groups are increasingly asserting their voices in political discussions, advocating for policies that address their specific needs and concerns. The rise of social media and digital platforms has also transformed the way politics is practiced. Politicians now engage with voters through Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, bypassing traditional media outlets and communicating directly with their constituencies. This has made political campaigns more accessible, but also more prone to misinformation and polarization. In the coming years, issues like climate change, healthcare reform, social justice, and economic inequality will continue to be major focal points in American politics. The balance of power between the two major parties will depend largely on how effectively each can address these issues and navigate the growing divisions in American society. As we look to the future, the question remains, will America be able to bridge its deep political divides, or will the nation continue down a path of polarization and partisanship? Only time will tell, but it's clear that the political landscape is at a crossroads, and the decisions made today will shape the future of the nation for generations to come. Conclusion. The political landscape in the United States is shaped by a combination of domestic policy issues, ideological divisions, changing demographics, and external global influences. The growing polarization between the two major parties, along with the continued influence of social movements and populist figures, ensures that American politics will remain contentious and dynamic in the years ahead. As the nation approaches its next presidential election, the debates on healthcare, climate change, and social justice will continue to dominate, shaping the direction of the country in ways that are both unpredictable and transformative. The end. Did you enjoy this story? Like the video and comment. Subscribe channel. See you the next video. Have a nice day.